With the recent election of Donald Trump as the next American president, we have seen behaviour from the likes of Democrats, Hillary supporters and other left-wingers. And on the internet you can find various tirades against Donald Trump. Though one theme I've found interesting lately is the theme that Donald Trump is in fact the Antichrist. Now, I've come across this before. When George Bush was elected American president, the same MO. He was going to bring Armageddon to the world and so on. And it is the same people, the same Democrat Liberal supporters who are pushing this, which I find a bit ironic considering that most Democrats, Liberals and left-wingers in general are atheists, or at the very least they are apostates. This is due to the liberation theology which seems to be invading most religions these days, if not all of them. So what we have are atheists, whether they want to call themselves atheists or just practice it, using the Bible as a justification of what they are said to believe. Now, is Donald Trump the Antichrist? In all honesty, I do not know. The Antichrist is, well, it has a series of nominees, sleepers, and they may be called up at any time. So they are in and on the earth, in various countries in various positions. So from this, I would have to say the Antichrist. The Antichrist is someone who would not be known unto themselves for the most part. Is Donald Trump the Antichrist? In all honesty, I can't say yes or no. Is he a nominee? In all honesty, I can't say yes or no. But one of the candidates who would be aware of himself, and indeed seems to be in a position to do something about it, and judging by his recent actions, is George Soros. Now, Georgi Schwartz, or George Soros as he is commonly known, is an atheist, a Jewish atheist, and pretty much a sociopath. No sense of right or wrong, very leftist, but indulges in his hypocrisy. He thinks nothing of shorting stocks or manipulation or speculation, regardless of who gets ripped off in the process. So if I was pushed to say who is the prime candidate at this time, he would definitely be one of them. Now, people will go back to George Soros's childhood and say he's Jewish, he worked for the Nazis and that's how he made his money. No. He most likely did steal stuff and take stuff from those who were dead, in a gas chamber or whatever, and who he knew were going to die. Would I call him a Nazi because of that? No, I just, considering there was a war, And considering how long ago it was, I don't think it's particularly relevant to what is occurring now. George Soros funds a lot of things. He is supposedly the seventh richest person in the world. He has a value of an estimated $29 billion. And look at the things he's funding. Black Lives Matters. Now, people will want to say that straight off the bat, it's a black terrorist organisation. More than likely, it didn't start off that way. I do think it's a concern when you've got cops just shooting people, regardless of their colour. But since he's been financing it, it has changed completely. If you ask, who is the leader of Black Lives Matter? Fact is, you're not going to find one. Because I suspect many of them are in fact white or Jewish. He operates through the Open Society Foundation. That's his front, his umbrella organisation. And one of the other things he has been funding is the movement of refugees into Europe. It does seem he hates Europeans with a passion. But looking at the Antichrist bit, in Christianity we have the Antichrist. In Islam we have the Dajjal. And in Judaism we have Arminius. Now, the Antichrist came first. The Dajjal came second. But Arminius, the Jewish Antichrist, only got a mention about, let's say 800 years ago, 900 at best. It is a recent invention. It does not particularly relate to Christianity, nor should it. But you have to ask, where did this come from? Myself, I believe that the people who call themselves Jews today are not in fact descendants of the ancient Israelites. They are descendants of converts. And this would explain how what passes as modern Judaism these days is, a bloodline thing. You look at the average Jew, there's no way on earth they are Semitic. Their actual religious belief seems to be a type of pantheism. And in fact, you can be an atheist as long as you are born of a Jewish mother and participate in any synagogue service you like. There is no issue with this because you are Jewish by bloodline. So, what we're looking at now, I look at George Soros and I see the things he's funding, and I ask myself, could someone be possible of doing this? Of, their natural, soul, their natural intelligence? And I think not. First of all, he's a sociopath. I believe this is correct. He does not have a soul. So, without a soul and a confirmed atheist, he is prone to possession at any time by the jinn, or otherwise known as demons, and this could explain a lot. But he is also seemingly self-aware of his position. Now, when you look at what the Open Society Foundation, and indeed other Soros fronts, give money to, things start to add up a bit. With the various left-wing liberal causes, as espoused by the likes of the Democrats in the United States and various other left-wing European parties, as we see mainland Europe, particularly in Germany and Sweden. We have seen the financing of the various gay-type organisations, such as transgenderism, which is really just transsexuals or people who hate themselves. Same as transracialism, another popular one that's turned up in the United States, especially with the recent controversy of Rachel Dolezal of the NAACP, who was telling everyone she was black when actually she was white and had spray on suntan. But we also see this, the trans category. You got trans gender, trans racial, also got transnational. You can get as many passports as you want so long as you can afford them. People are not swearing allegiance to a single country, but they are buying allegiance to others. And the most utmost of all the trans is the transhuman. More and more every day we see people getting implants of various sorts. It's hard to tell if they're mostly human or if they're mostly machine. And with the likes of RFID chips, we could be seeing a new species. But then again, this will be put down to evolution and the various atheist scientific type left-wing fronts, again funded by George Soros. In Europe, we can see this happening now. You've got over 1 million so-called refugees. Now, if you come from a Middle Eastern country and go into Europe and you see people who just mutilate themselves, women covered in tattoos, gay guys, for some reason every male, particularly in Sweden, wants to become gay. We've got cuckold families, and again this is true for Sweden. So you can have a white man marry a white woman, and yet they will get a black man to father their child to be transracial. So you've got all these Muslim refugees coming into Europe, and they look at the various writings, the Hadith, the Quran, and whatever, the things they have been taught about the Dajjal. They come to Europe and I see the Europeans and what they've done to themselves. You can only think what they must be thinking, so gee, I've come to hell on earth. And this is what the likes of Soros truly wants.